Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel today. This is Amen Clothing YouTube channel where we teach you how to use patterns to create unlimited design. Today we are going to be making this shirt top that has an underbust, an underbust gathered that looks like a corset kind of. Okay, so if that's what you want to learn how to make, keep watching this video to the very end while we head straight to the pattern drafting tutorial. Okay, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, do want to subscribe, hit the like button for this video. Let's head straight to the pattern drafting tutorial. This is beginner friendly and it's very easy. Okay, so first you'll be needing your basic bodice front. Okay, your neckline should be in the basic. You're needing your side bust dart, and of course your waist dart all the way to where you want this very particular top to stop. Have my bust line, my under bust line, waistline, and of course the length of the top. Okay, I extended it. The one in the picture stopped at the waistline, but I kind of extended mine because I do not want it to stop at the waistline. Okay, so now the next thing we are going to do is to contour our underbust. The reason why we are contouring our underbust for this design is so that it fits closely at the underbust. I think that's the beauty of this design. I'm very sure that's the beauty of this design. If it hugs at the underbust, then that is the very beauty we are looking for, because that's the specific thing about this shirt top design. So we are contouring our underbust, so it's going to be hugging at the underbust area. Okay, when you contour, you're seeking for a closer fit, so we're going to be contouring for a more closer fit at the underbust. So this is what the contour looks like. I have a detailed video of contouring. If you want to see that, then leave a comment in the comment section and I'll link you to a video that would explain that more to you. Now, to add that shirt effect, okay, where the button is going to be sitting on this very top, I added a fresh pattern paper at my center front and I had to tape it down with my tape. Okay, I went ahead with my tape to hold the fresh pattern paper down to the original pattern. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out 1 inch from where my main body center front stopped or started, just exactly what you're seeing me doing now. I'm marking 1 inch, and that 1 inch is where our button and buttonhole is going to be sitting. So I'm using my ruler to join the dotted lines together. Now I extended the underbust line, okay, and I'm cutting off the excesses like so. So I'm going to be using a marker to show you guys very well the extension of the underbust line. I extended the underbust line towards the part where the button is going to sit. Okay, and that's what we just did now. After doing that, the next thing you're going to do is to measure 1.5 inches upwards from your underbust line. 1.5 inches upwards from your underbust line, like so. Now, having done that, you want to give a curved shape at the underbust area like so. Okay, you can decide to stop yours at the underbust area, or you can decide that it's going to go upwards to meet the side bust dart, like what I'm going to be doing now. Okay, so whichever one you want to do is left for you. Just make sure that the part of the center front is very okay. So I'm going to be using my marker to make what I did visible enough for you guys to see it. So this was what I did here. Okay, this is what your pattern should look like at this very stage. Now I'm going to be marking number 1, 2, and of course 3. At this point, my marker was no longer functioning. I had to change it. So I marked 1, 2, 3, just as if we're making a corset. In the case of a corset, okay, this is a clearer look of what it looks like. Okay, so I haven't done this now. Of course, we'll go ahead to start cutting out or separating the 1, 2, and the 3. But before we do that, we'll go ahead to close up our side bust dart. Of course, we're not going to be sewing it in, and we need to gather the underbust, so we need fullness. Now we're going to be getting fullness from the side bust dart. From the very center, which is also the buster part, I'm going to be cutting this line open up until the bust point area, so I can close up that side bust dart and transfer the fullness of the side bust dart to the underbust, because we are going to be needing the fullness for gathers at the underbust. So I'm going ahead now to cut off that. Of course, we want a fitted look, so we're going to be eliminating all the darts. I'm cutting them off right now. So this is what it looks like, okay? And now for the excess at the button area, we're going to be removing them also. Up until this very point, okay? So now this is what our pattern looks like. We'll go ahead to cut according to the design of that empire waist that we did, that we drew out. So yeah, this is what it looks like for now. And of course, we will continue. This is not the final stage of this pattern drafting. We will continue. So I added a white paper and I kind of wrote the line so you know that this part is a fullness we're going to gather. Okay. Now you remember, while looking at the top of your screen, you see that the actual design we are recreating for that very lower part is on fold. You won't see any sewing, unlike the corsets where you have your 3-piece corset which was sewn together and your boning inserted. This one is in full. There is no part where you see any joining, so you have to do that closing on your pattern first, so that when you're cutting it on the fabric, you have to cut the center front on fold and everything comes out in full without any joining. I hope you guys understand clearly. I have a similar thing like this. If you did not understand this well, but I know I have explained it very well, you can drop a comment in the comment section and I'll link you to a video where I did something similar. Okay, I actually sewed that one and I wore it, so I can link you to a video where I did something similar, where I also made it and I wore it, the design. Okay, so I'm writing here now on fold. I cannot, like the labeling, while drafting your pattern, labeling cannot be overemphasized. You have to label, because most times you tend to forget these things. A lot went in here, so most times you tend to forget, but the labeling will put you in track. So whenever you're drafting your pattern, make sure you label. So this is what it's going to look like, okay? There are not going to be any traces of sewing and all that. So to join this piece together, now these are all the pieces you need. Of course, this is what, by the time you're done, these are all the pieces you need. Now, before we join together, this is what we're going to do. We're going to eliminate this pointed area. So you're going to look for a comfortable part where 1 inch is going to sit, 1/2 inch on both sides, okay? Of course, you should mark your notches. If it's on your fabric, your notch, you should mark notches. So 1/2 inch on both sides. Notch to indicate that this is your center front. Notch to indicate that this is where the 2 darts on both sides are. So you should mark your notches, okay? So when you mark the notches on the center front, you take out 1/2 inch on both sides, where 1 inch is going to sit perfectly, and you cut it off. Remember also to add your sewing allowance. You have to do this on your pattern. So when you're cutting on the fabric, you add your sewing allowance, okay? So now this is what the stitching is going to look like. Of course, you should concentrate on fixing the 2 upper part of it together. Okay, like this button area, you should stitch up the down part of it, and that is what we are going to do now. So we are going to be stitching up like so. I'll use my tape and hold it down at the lower part of it like so. You want to stitch up just that part, the lower part of it, so you can be able to join. Okay, I also drop the link of a two-piece collar in the comment section of this video, so you can go check out how to make a two-piece collar for your complete shirt design. Okay, so when you stitch this part, you go over to the side seam and also you hold this part either with a pin or you kind of stitch it down. Okay, so now when you stitch down these two parts, the next thing you're going to do is make sure that whatever you are gathering, like I said, mark your notch of this dart area. Despite the fact that you did not sew it, make sure you mark the notch on the lower part of the fabric to indicate that yes, this is where the dart that I stitch up on that I closed up the dart on the pattern is. So mark the notch on your fabric. Now when you're gathering, make sure that the gather is more prominent at that part where you marked your notch. Okay, and make sure that it aligns. So this is what we are having. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.